Good evening. This is Wounded Animal. Here with tall tales to assail your ears and your senses. Let me tell you about a creature you might encounter in the Appalachian Range. The Side Hill Gouger is an elusive creature, born with one leg short and the other long. A feature which allows it to walk the steep mountainside unimpeded. These quiet animals simply fall over. This dooms each one to its native mountain, which it circles around and around for all its days. Unless it meets another gouger with the opposite short leg and the opposite long leg, and they can lean on one another. Arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder, they might just stagger out across the plains. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heavy-handed on the left side, a little flimsy on the right. Got no thumbs on these paws, but they work alright. Got one foot that's good for digging, the other foot ain't good for jack. But this crooked body suits me, ain't no ground round here flat. Hillside like my parents had preceded me. I walked the circle set out by my distinguished ancestry. I never thought another hill could hold any appeal, so I put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. But I'm still standing on the same damn hill. Specimen must have been love in the water, cause I fell right in. A mate is meant to be a matchup, so I couldn't help but check. The stronger leg was on the right side and the weak one on the left. Elders always taught me that we can't abide the opposite, but when I look in her eyes, I think that's half the thrill of it. We meet at midnight on a trail that winds around both sides, dancing one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. We'll make a harbor in this here hill. Never had a foe before, but they don't sound like friends. I called upon my brawny lady with her righteous muscle to thigh. If I could match her with my partner, we might make it out alive. I put my arms around her, then I pushed against her abdomen. We stood up, then fell down, then pushed on to stand back up again. We learned to walk so clumsily, but then we got the hang of putting one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, and we ain't never going back to them goddamn hills. Thank you. A tale from the history books. Proof positive that trans and non-binary folks are nothing new. They've always been here. In October of 1776, a 17-year-old named Jemima Wilkinson slipped into a coma. Upon waking, they announced that Jemima had died. And in that same body now dwelt an eternal, genderless being of pure light, known as the public universal friend, bearing goodwill unto humankind at a time of revelation. Now, the world was no more prepared to accept that message then than it is now. But the public universal friend pressed on undeterred. Myself, and I won't try to be that self, and I'll tell you why. The angels made me over in their own image. I should be a being of purity and light, made by celestial decree. Jemima was, then she was not, and in her place, see what divinity has wrought. Don't use the name she carried. Don't use the pronouns he or she. The prophet Isaiah said, use only thou to speak to me. I am the public universal friend, a friend to all, whether you call yourselves women or men. I am the public universal friend. I see the sneers, I hear the laughs, but I don't care. Or to be accurate, I can't. My soul is too expansive for common human miseries. You know these mortal sins pose no threat to cosmic beings like me. In the public universal friend, a friend to all, whether you call yourselves women or men. I am the public universal friend. What I preach is meant for all, for any ears that hear the holy blessed call. The days of revelations are near to hand, and so we must live as the Lord intended, in mutual support and trust. Universal friend, a friend to all, whether you call yourselves women or men. I am the public universal friend. I am the public universal friend, a friend to all, whether you call yourselves women or men. I am the public universal friend. I am the public universal friend, a friend to all, whether you call yourselves women or men. I am the public universal friend. On a somber note, all of us here have felt the sting of loss. We've all felt that pain, and if you haven't, you will. It is sadly promised. But go into the forest. Speak to the trees there, and listen. And they'll tell you what they told me. A truth that moves through this universe as easily as water flows. This patch of woods doesn't look the same anymore. The oak that filled the canopy lies decomposing on the forest floor, boring through the beetles chew and lignin and cellulose. They fall apart into rich black loam, and you smile and say, there is no life without decay. Rushing in, it slips between the reeds and the swans fight in a swift silent current around the bend in the riverbank, carving and carrying a silty uncovering of roots like ribs buried in the mud. And you smile and say, everything washes away. And the river run takes the riverbank, grain by grain. It's hollowed out, it collapses in to be hollowed out once again. A sharp beak slices into an earthworm, and half goes down to the early bird's stomach. The other half wriggles away to live to squirm another day. The squirrel buried nuts for the winter. She starved in the spring while the sapling grew, and someday long from now that oak will fill the canopy's crown, and you smile and say, live or die, it's all the same. Smile, you turn to leave. I watched your form recede between the trees, but as you wandered on, I heard the echo of your song, and it goes. I'm reassured to see the circle of life here with the youth doing the Macarena in the front row. It warms my cold heart. It does. It really does. Nature is healing. On a lighter note, I want to tell you a timeless tale of longing and romance. On the one hand, you have Juliet, and then here you have Norman. You see, Norman is a mule, and one thing about mules, they are obsessed with horses. When a mule sees a horse, oh, they see a goddess. And so, poor lovesick Norman follows Juliet around the corral, just begging for her attention. And when he receives it, more often than not, it comes in the form of a kick to the chest, which he welcomes. And so I think to myself, poor Norman, the problem is that he is unable to express himself with words. And so I did it for him. We've all felt a bit like Norman at some point. We have. I remember the day like it was yesterday. They brought me up to your corral. They opened up the gate. I stepped inside. And I saw an angel, and Juliet was that angel's name. Ever since then, I followed behind you just to look at you and to remind that I'm a mule and you're a mare. I'm blinded by your elegance and grace. Excuse me if I stare. I could watch you trot for hours and you'd still look fresh and sweet. And if you should start to canter, my captivated heart would skip a beat. You're a mare and I'm a mule. When you come around the paddock, I start acting like a love-struck fool. So if I sidle close and try to nibble on your neck, it's because I haven't found a better way to satisfy this yearning yet. I never knew devotion until I first laid eyes on Juliet. I'm a mule, and in the sunset light your coat is shining like a precious jewel. The scent of you intoxicates me even through the fence. Yes, the feeling you inspire goes beyond mere love to holy reverence. I'm a mule and you're a mare. For you I wish I could be suave and debonair. But with this belly I keep fed, poking out between my stirrups and the long hairs on this blocky head, I'd better be dependable instead. And so I stopped to ask myself, what can I offer to my Juliet? Well, I'm sure-footed in the hills, There ain't no rattlesnake can spook me off the trail. And when the desert winds are blowing, I'll stand in front of you to shield you from the gale. I'm a mule and you're a mare. My moments may be few and far between, but best believe they're there. And whether you'd admit it, I think that we make quite a handsome pair. Norman's out there right now, gazing at Juliet, I promise you. It's all he ever does. As a reminder, this is Wounded Animal. I'd like you to give it up for the dexterous Polemana on the fretless gourd banjo. And we've got local living legend Norm on the upright bass. Look at that jazz coffin. It's beautiful. And this is Wounded Animal. You can find our music in all the usual places. We have some merchandise, some artwork and such, for which you could consult with my friend Jess over on one of the tables there. All inconsequential. But that said, I think I've got one more for you. I think at this point, we all understand the importance of building community in trying times. And I'd like to invite you to include our more than human neighbors in that. You see, humans like to be the only predator around, and so the wolves, the bears, the mountain lions have all been pushed to the margins. But there is one creature that is standing strong, that is taking the fight to the streets, and that is the noble coyote. Silhouetted in the twilight, the lanky shadow slipping out of sight. You don't know where we disappear to. We're always near, but we always get away from you. You never knew quite what to do with us. You put up walls to keep us out, we jump them easily. The borders you drew on the map are all imaginary. Barriers are just a game to us. We're far too clever, and that's why you think we're dangerous. We don't respect your boundaries. We'll find our dinners where we please. Slip between your fencing pickets and eat up all your tender chickens. So, what a feast! We're happy here in the belly of the beast. Oh, what a feast! We're right at home in the belly of the beast. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Set out toothy traps and hidden snares, cruel devices meant to catch us unawares. You might get 1 or 2 or even 12 or 26, but hundreds more of us are still evading all your tricks. You'll never capture all of us, 'cause we're too numerous to do away with. While you were plotting, we filled our dens with furry babies. You know that love is radical resistance. For all you kill, we just bring more into existence. Despite the traps you humans make, we populate the landscape with litters, yeah, with pups aplenty. Poison 12 and we'll make 20. Oh, what a feast! We're happy here in the belly of the beast. Oh, what a feast! We're right at home in the belly of the beast. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. The West may not be wild, but it still belongs to us. And we are unapologetically carnivorous. Where we roam, suburban mothers fear to tread. So we'll come to your yard to eat your fat chihuahuas there instead. Delicious. Your koi pond has been emptied of its fishes. And though you lock your doors and windows tight, we'll guard your cats and vanish in the night. We are feral marginalia, the rogues of Animalia, the trickster that you can't contain, the canine that you'll never tame. Oh, what a feast! We're happy here in the belly of the beast. Oh, what a feast! We're right at home in the belly of the beast. Oh, 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 oh. Thank you. This was Wounded Animal.